Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to use the opportunity on behalf of Mentorship and Career Guidance in Nigeria, welcome you to today's lecture on how to start a business. Actually, this is a lecture series organized by the Mentorship and Career Guidance in Nigeria in response to the series of demands from colleagues, friends, students, and other related people from within and outside Nigeria on either how to start up a business, entrepreneurship, whether scientific, academic, all sort of guidance. So we usually invite established scholars from whatever area to share with us, and students, scholars, and whosoever that participates on their experience and expertise, so that it will serve the guidance to the generality of the people. So with us today here, we've invited two eminent scholars and established businessmen to discuss the topic, how to start a business. The first presenter is Alhaji Suleiman Tukur, who is a staff of Deposit Insurance Corporation. He will be the first person to discuss, and he will use just 20 minutes to share with us some of his experience related to business. And subsequently, a famous figure, Dr. Shadi Sabe, my friend and a former comrade from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, who happens to be a former SUG president. I always like to acknowledge him with that because he has struggled to become the SUG president. I was among the immediate SRS, they call it Student Representative Assembly, that followed them immediately after they finished their tenure. And he is a former academic staff of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, that voluntarily resigned to continue with his vision of becoming a successful entrepreneur. Presently, he is the founder and CEO of Fulbright, what do you call it?
Brilliant Footstep.
Brilliant Footstep Academy that is here in Sokoto. So he will also be following Malam Suleiman Tukur to discuss his experience, share his experience related to business with us, inshallah. He will also use 20 minutes, and thereafter we'll use 20 minutes to answer questions, comments, and queries. So with this, I would like to invite Suleiman Tukur to begin with his presentation. I will request everyone that is hearing me to kindly please mute himself so that we will give more attention to Alhaji Suleiman as he begin his presentation. Thank you very much as you mute yourself.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen in the house. My name is Suleiman Tukur. As the convener rightly said, I'm working with Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. I will take you through the topic, understanding the commitment and challenges involved in starting a business. Though I didn't have any experience in business, but what I will discuss with you is purely academic. But along the line, we'll be discussing a certain experience that I have with my friends who are a businessmen and women. So let me start by introduction. Next slide. Doctor, next slide. So then, let me lay a foundation about a business. We see we are faced with so many challenges from this COVID-19, which exposed so many salary earners and the businessmen, even the company. Some of the companies has experienced so many challenges. Private school has laid off their workers because of this reason. That is why we see it is important that we teach our teeming youth who are willing to venture into business so that they may have something that they can earn beside their salary. So I will start by introduction. Starting a business is a huge commitment. Entrepreneurs often fail to appreciate significant amount of time, resources, and energy needed to start a business and grow a business. If you thought about opening your own business, you may have so many ideas and you may be looking for advice. So many people starting a business out there, which one to choose? I can tell you that there is no perfect formula for starting a business. Before I go further, I want to make a conceptual clarification about the difference between business and entrepreneurship. We say business is the activity of making one living or making money by producing or buying and selling products, such as goods and services. Simply put, it is any activity or enterprise enter into for a profit. It's just like a buying and selling. A business is like a buying and selling. You buy for a cost and you sell for a price and make your profit and continue with your life like that. But entrepreneurship, you are trying to bring something new to the society, which is not in existence. For instance, you look at your area, look for their demand. Look at what is lacking in your area. Then you come up with idea, you start producing that, or you start selling that kind of product that you cannot find in your area. Entrepreneur is trying to bring something into the market. It's something that is not found in the society or is not available in the society. He tries to do his best so that he can introduce that to the society for a price. At the same time, when introducing that kind of product or services to the society, he will be making his money. That's what we call entrepreneur. But business is mere buying and selling. Already there is existing product in the market. You go to the market and buy and sell for a profit. Next slide, that too. Next slide. I have already discussed what is entrepreneur. We have thousands of business there. You can start weaving, carpentry, poultry, ceramic, farming, fishing. We have so many different types of business. Perhaps your decision to go into business is to bring the gap between one's and expenditure. So many times our expenditure supersedes or is higher than our income. Our expenditure is higher at our home. I can tell you, so many of us here who are salary earners have somewhere they go and collect credit. At the end of the month, they will pay that. They will pay their bills. Simply because their income is lower than their expenditure. That is the reason why we have to engage in business so that we can earn more income that will solve our daily needs. Knowing how to start your business will largely depend on the type of entity you decide to form. Sorry, doctor, how can I minimize this so that I can see the right one? Okay, it's okay. Knowing how to start your own business will largely depend on the type of entity that you decide to form. The following are common business styles we have in Nigeria. We have the sole proprietorship, partnership, and cooperation. Sole proprietorship, as we know, it is a one-man business, while partnership, where two people come together to form a business. These two people can be, by the law, I think they are about, you can form a partnership between 2 to 7 persons. While cooperation, we have limited private liability company and we have public liability company. The maximum number of private liability company is 20, while the public liability company has no limit. Next slide, let's go. Our discussion will dwell here on sole proprietorship, which is an entrepreneur. First of all, you have to clear excuses. You are making excuses that you don't have time to start business, you don't have money to start there. Try to clear all those excuses. Try to find something doing. Go to your area, look around, see what is beneficial to the society, what are their demands, what they need, what do they like in the area. For instance, if your area doesn't have a shopkeeper where they can buy their daily foodstuff, you can decide to get a shop or a kiosk. You start selling something for them. Instead of them to go out of the area, they have to incur the cost of transport to go and buy other products that needed. You may decide to form a business in that area so that they will be buying from you. Generate an idea. You need to ask friends, family, and other people who are into business before you. When you generate an idea, now you know the problem of the society within which you live. So you can be a problem solver. What are the problems? What are the needs and demand of the people within your locality? Try and provide that demand for what they demand so that you can earn your money. Most of the employers, they solve problem. They solve problem because they know you need, most of the businessmen, they solve problem because you know you need food. Your employer pay you a salary, but you need food to survive. You need to buy some. You need to buy so many things. So they say, instead of us working for others, why can't you solve this problem so that at the same time we are making our income, we are making profit. So be a problem solver. Whenever you look at your society or in the locality where you live, you look at something that is not available there, then you start to bring it in that locality. At the same time, you solve their problem and you are earning you are getting your profit as an income. Next slide. Doctor, next slide. Make your business idea simple. Be careful not to let your concept slow down into something overcomplicated. Don't just bring an overcomplicated idea that we want to start business here. You have to start from the scratch. You have to start small, little by little. From there you can grow. Try to start and narrow your focus. Create a simple quality good or services. Create a simple product that you can sell to the society. A successful idea should fulfill promise to the customer. You make sure that business that you started will continue. If it is not continue, you have not solved the problem. When you start to develop your idea, add how much it will cost you. Try to know the capital required to start up your business. You need to factor every business expenses necessary to launch and operate. Some costs to keep in mind include your location, rent, and supplies, and more. And while you build, look at your current source of income. If you are an employer, what do you earn from your current employer? How long will your savings last if you quit the work? What unexpected thing could mess up your plan? Prepare yourself for all situations that can happen if the business idea does not work. If you want to start a business, don't quit your job. Build your business in stages and gradually transition from employee to employer. As a new business owner, you need to start from small so that whatever you are earning from the business will help you to build your business. If you are government worker or civil servant, before you quit your job, try and build your business and grow your business. Then gradually, you can now resign and concentrate on your, even though we know that by the Nigerian law, civil servants are not allowed to engage in business except permit. You can have an idea between two persons so that you can provide the capital. The other person can run the business for you while you are supervising the business. I know in the Nigerian constitution, we are in the civil service, we are allowed to engage in farming, in agriculture and farming. But most of in Nigeria, many persons with 10 million naira, you don't see them in farming. Simply because they have preferred to sponsor a candidate or political party, at the end of the day, they will give them contract and earn their money without suffering, without any hedges. But I think it is important for us to contribute to the development of our economy by engaging in farming. The reason why Mr. President has locked up our borders is for we to be able to produce what we can feed ourselves. We should buy the idea, the fertile land that we have in the northern Nigeria, if properly utilized with the assistance of many state government, believe me sincerely, we can feed the half of West African countries. But because of our attitude and lack of patriotism, many of us, we have the money. But instead of to invest in farming and agricultural products so that we can develop our economy, we have preferred to sponsor political parties or candidates. At the end of the day, they will give us a contract of 15 million naira. It would be given to at the cost of 45 million naira, triple of the actual price. Then the remaining money you share between the person that gave you the contract. I think we need to be patriotic by engaging into business. No any economy can develop without the contribution of small and medium enterprise. Doctor, I cannot see the slides. Doctor, okay. Next slide. Okay. Since you have the business idea, you have your capital, so you have to know the legal requirement in starting the business. You know, we Nigeria, please move to yourself. We Nigerians, we always like shortcut. Instead of us to follow the legal means when we are starting something, we have just prefer, we just go and open shop, start the business, and start whatever we want to start. I think it is important, if you are patriotic Nigerian, when you want to start a business, you have your idea, and you have the capital, and you are ready to start the business. Go to the local government and register your business so that you can pay tax. Because through this tax, that government can bring so many infrastructure into society. If you are not paying tax and you stay, how can you blame government for not providing infrastructure to the society? Through the tax, the government can do so many things for us. So we have to be patriotic by registering our business with local council, other local government or state, even the CAC, because I know that now there is a amended Company and Allied Matter Act, which gives a single person to go and register he can incorporate a company as a single person. You can go to CAC website, Corporate Affairs Commission, and see the requirements. So it is important when you are starting business, go to all the authorities, register your business. Thirdly, balance passion with knowledge. If you have passion with business, because of that, don't allow that passion to drive you into the business. You must have a knowledge of that business. Ask the experienced ones who has started it before. Passion move you forward, but knowledge will point you in the right direction. Conduct a market survey, talk to the target customer to find out your business potential. Ask the important question about your target customer. What do they look alike in terms of their income, in terms of what they want? Does your business idea solve a problem for them? The business that you wanted to start, will it solve for their problem? Next slide. Doctor, next slide. What is business plan? Having discussed, having analyzed all what I have said, now it's the time that you prepare your business plan. Because even if you are looking for capital from someone or from government, even if it is your relative or friend, you need to see your business plan to see how you can develop the business and how you can make profit out of it. A business plan is a document that maps out the detail of your business. It covers your business. It covers what your business will sell, how it will be structured, what the market looks like, how you plan to sell your product or service, what funding you will need, what is your financial projection, and which permit, lease, and other documentation will be required. At its core, a business plan helps you to prove yourself and whether or not your business idea is worth pursuing. It is the best way to take a step back, look at your idea holistically, and solve for issues years down the road before you start getting into the weeds. A one-page business plan is streamlined and brief business plan that you can use as is, or as a starting point for traditional business plan. This is a learner version of traditional plan. You will need to gather information that is specific to your business in order to create a plan that will truly be useful to you. Be prepared to answer the following question as you create your simplified business plan. What is your ambition? What are you creating? What will your business look like in 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years ahead? What is your mission? What do you intend to achieve? What is your objectives? This your objective have to be smart. What we mean by smart? They have to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. You have to make your objective very specific. They have to be smart, measurable, and time-bound. Next slide, Doctor. Benefit of business plan. As I said earlier, if you are looking for finance or capital, either from government or individual, friends, and related, they need to see your business plan to see how you can make profit, how you plan to run the business, so that they will not give you their money and you squander. So
hello,
what?
You have maybe 5 to 6 minutes to round up, please. Can you quickly finish your presentation?
Okay, you can get outside funding. Benefit of business plan, you can get outside funding if they see your business, but even government intervention if you have a good business plan. Number two, you gain your understanding of your market. Because you have the business plan, you conduct a market site, you understand the type of the market you are into. Next slide. Next slide, Doctor. You focus your strategy. Because you have the plan, you put on your strategy how to achieve your objectives. You can check the financial numbers. Business plan include the financial projection for your company. Let's go ahead, Doctor. What are the steps in starting your business? One, you refine your idea. No, go back, Doctor. Previous slide. One, you have the idea, you have to refine your idea. Two, write a business plan. Three, assess your finances. Four, determine the legal requirements or structure of your business, being it sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation. Register with the government. In case of Nigeria, we have CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission. Purchase insurance where applicable. We know we Muslims, most of the Muslims are not, I don't know, I will not comment on this, but purchase insurance is depend on your faith or belief. Build your team. Who will assist you in running your business? Choose your vendors. Who are your suppliers? Brand yourself and advertise, grow your business. Brand yourself by naming your business, but advertise for the existence of your business. Next slide, Doctor. In conclusion, most likely you have already identified a business idea, so now it is time to balance it with a little reality. Does your idea have the potential to succeed? You will need to run your business idea through validation process before you go any further. In order for small business to be successful, it must solve a problem, fulfill a need, or offer something to the market. There are a number of ways you can identify this need, including research, focus group, and even trial and error. As we explore the market, some of the questions you should answer include: is there a need for your anticipated product? Who need it? Are the other companies offering similar product or service now? What is the competition like? Look alike. What is the competition like? How will you benefit into the market? So here, I want to add that Today in Nigeria, many of our youth who are graduate from the universities or college of educations are not ready to venture into business simply because they are waiting for government job. And as it is now, the labor market is stagnated. Government cannot absorb of all the graduate we produce in a year. So we have to think of start doing something. By starting doing something, you earn your income and you are helping the society at the same time, and you are helping the economy of the country. So also we that are civil servants, we can engage in farming so that we can help our economy to boost. We can engage in so many business by partnering or providing capital to other people so that we can be productive in the society. From my experience, because of this lockdown, and COVID-19 lockdown, I'm working in a very reputable organization. They pay me well. But because this Corona lockdown exposed my financing, because I rely heavily, because my salary cannot take me, it's not enough for me to cater for my need. But I depend largely on the allowances, traveling allowances that we normally engage when in the course of doing our business. So now there is no traveling, no any other thing that can give me income beside the salary. So this exposed me to so many hardships, which necessitate me to start thinking of engaging into a business. And as it is now, I have already provided capital for my brothers to start business so that any time that I'm in short of funds, I can go there and collect and solve my problem. Thank you very much for listening. You should bear with me. I'm not used to presentation like this. This is the first time that I make a online presentation. I have prepared seeing the audience and the face-to-face interaction so that we can contribute in the delivering of the lecture. Thank you very much for the listening. Dr. Unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Suleiman, for a very wonderful presentation. Actually, he is by profession a business administrator. He holds 2 degrees, one BSc Business Administration and MBA. So we will entertain questions and comments after the next presenter must have finished his presentation. Actually, let me just give few words of remarks. The reasons why we tilted our presentations or lectures towards entrepreneurship is simply because of the manner at which the COVID-19, exposes whether the government, the civil servants, and almost everyone. Everybody was at home, and now that the business activities have started resurfacing, so people will need to engage themselves into all sorts of business that will create opportunities for others. And that's the reason why the Central Bank of Nigeria now brought some initiatives that will now allow small and medium entrepreneurs to apply for loan in the form of intervention to start up a business. So last week we had a lecture by which we invited 2 scholars of religion who gave some clarifications whether the Muslims can go ahead to apply for the loan, considering earlier that the loan that usually comes from the bank or from the government has some riba that is called usury. So now that clarification has been made that it is a form of intervention and it is going to be given something similar to what the Jaiz Bank is giving, whereby the money will not be given to the person directly, rather the vendors that will provide the intending entrepreneur, to acquire whether the equipment or to buy if it is, for instance, related to poultry, to buy the feeds, to buy the animals, so that he can now carry ahead with his business. So quickly with these remarks, I will invite Dr. Shadi Sabe, a public figure, an economist, an entrepreneur, to kindly come forward to deliver his presentation. Dr. Shadi, kindly please unmute yourself and begin with your presentation. Thank you.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dr. Tijani Shinkafi, first of all, let me appreciate the fact that you have given me the opportunity to share some of my ideas. I must also, ideas and experience that is, and also learn a lot from all what has been said. It's very interesting when we have the likes of Madam Suleiman Tukur give us information from the perspective of people who are mainstream into some of the things that have to do with entrepreneurship, business management, financing, especially from the side of government, and as you know, expounded as he did. You know, most of these issues have to do with understanding the terrain, understanding the intricacies of business, entrepreneurship, and so on. I think Madam Suleiman Tukur said so much that I may not need to add from the angle of giving another presentation. So I would not want to take it from the angle in which he took, so that we can give the listeners a variety of perceptions. In that vein, I would like to look at it from a practical perspective. I would like to look at it from, you know, the angle of a field entrepreneur, from the angle of one who, you know, is trying to implement or has tried to implement all those wonderful things that Madam Suleiman Tukur has educated us on today. He made a statement. He said entrepreneurship is different from business. That is very, very true. And I always try to make people understand that an entrepreneur is not a businessman. So a businessman, for instance, thinks about, you know, livestock business from Zamfara or from Sokoto to Lagos from the perspective of transportation and agriculture. You know, practically he thinks of how can he get, you know, livestock cheap in Sokoto and take it to the Lagos market, probably in mile 12 or any abattoir or so on. An entrepreneur thinks differently. An entrepreneur is a deep person. Entrepreneurship is a thought process. It's all about creating new ideas. It's a unique approach to business. It's about breaking new ground. And that is why entrepreneurs are different from businessmen. So while the businessman is looking at the Sokoto goat to Lagos, transporting it and selling it in the goat market in Lagos, the entrepreneur is looking at changing the narrative of the Sokoto goat Lagos transportation goat market in Lagos. What he looks at is how can he land that goat meat, that mutton, that goat meat from Sokoto down to Lagos in a new way. So this Salah, I went to the market, Kara market in Sokoto, and I saw two sets of people. I saw a set of guys who came from Lagos with a bus, another set of guys who came from Abuja with a bus. Both of them loaded rams into their two buses. But one was a businessman, one was an entrepreneur. The businessman was loading his rams from Sokoto Kara market to the ram market in Lagos. And his customers have started calling him, and he's about to make his trip to take these rams down to Lagos. The entrepreneur, the other guy, had the same bus, but then he was working for an online ram market company where people just pick up their smartphones, they get pictures of these goats, they click, they make online payments, and he delivers to their doorsteps. So that is entrepreneurship, different from the businessman. So these two guys had two bus loads of rams, but the process of their, you know, business activity was differentiated by the fact that this entrepreneur was trying to present his own idea in a different and unique manner from the business as usual approach. So entrepreneurship, like Suleiman Tukur said, is different from, what we see as business. Entrepreneurship is a marathon and it's not a sprint. A lot of people abuse the term entrepreneurship. Everybody says I'm an entrepreneur, but it's wrong. Entrepreneurship is a lifetime journey. It's a full-time business. If you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. If you are in the middle of providing entrepreneurship via somebody else, then you are facilitating entrepreneurship. You are not mainstream, and you could be kicked out of business any day, anytime. So today what I want to do is to look at the practical approach to starting a business. Like Suleiman Tukur said, it's all about the passion. And unfortunately, most of us, when we are talking about entrepreneurship, we are talking about funding. Funding is good, but funding could be dangerous. Most people think about the funds before the idea. Most people think about financing before the business. There are two ways to think about entrepreneurship. There is from the market perspective and the product perspective. Most of us are product-savvy and market-oriented. A product-savvy entrepreneur is one who looks at the product, the value of his product, and tries to make sure that that product is produced for the market. The market-oriented entrepreneur looks at the need of the market, just like Malam Suleiman said. He talked about entrepreneurship as, solving a problem. There's a gap in the market. Nobody would give you money for free. Everybody gives money for value. So nobody would just dash you money, dole out money, except it's charity. But everybody wants value for money he's giving out. So for somebody to for you to get an individual to remove his hard-earned money for your service, that product has to be satisfying him. So when I go to the market to buy this cap, I want a blue cap because I have a blue outfit. So no matter how lovely your cap is looking, if it's not blue, I'm not buying it. So if I go into a shop of all white, black, brown, yellow, red caps, that shop is not for me. And what if 100 of us move into the market for blue caps? It means anybody with a shop without a blue cap is not going to make any sale for that day. Why? Because that person did not identify the market for his product before venturing into it. So we have to understand that when you want to start a business, like Malam Suleiman said, you have to embark on a market survey. A market survey is not just that technical issue of going into the market and finding out what people want. No, it's about the alternatives available. Let me give you an example. In Sokoto State, we woke up one day and we saw a very posh new restaurant in town. Now, they are old restaurants. Those old restaurants overnight were put out of business by a new restaurant. That new restaurant has done their homework very well, and they realized that coming into Sokoto town, the market was there for them, and they leveraged on that, and they killed other businesses. So, of course, it is not just about the market survey alone, but it's about understanding the mentality of the people, understanding how they can easily leave your product for somebody else's product. So most times people embark on wonderful business plans, the market survey is there, they get funding, they embark on their business, and boom, it crashes. Because this market survey was done 3 months before their business, and the only constant thing in life is change. So we have to understand that entrepreneurship could be heartbroken. And many people run after funding as if that is what entrepreneurship is all about. No, I'm very happy with the CBN Intervention Fund that is non-interest based, yes, but I'm disturbed that a lot of people are propelled to go into entrepreneurship because funding is available, not because they have an idea that they want to actualize and they cannot, make their idea see the light of day because there's no funding. So there are two things now. Dr. Shinkafi, and I'm very happy with this lecture because most of us that are very excited about the CBN non-interest, intervention, if you check, are happy because the fund is available, not because they have the idea. To grow those funds, statistics show that in Africa, 80% of startups are businesses that have existed from 0 minutes to 5 years. Studies have shown that 80% of startups in Africa do not go beyond their 5th year. Most of them die. So what is the guarantee that, yes, non-interest funding, what is the guarantee that that funding would actually exist meaningfully? In the sense that these businesses, these entrepreneurs, these startups will not nosedive a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years after existence. So there is a very serious challenge ahead, and I think this kind of forums that Dr. Tijani has brought up is very useful for us to understand that we have to get to the level of, look, it's not all about accessing those funds, but how do you actually use those funds? So we have different kind of entrepreneurs. We have those entrepreneurs who are already existing, we have startups, we have those who are premium, we have those who are platinum. I think our discussion today has to do with startups. People that might not even have an idea. Somebody doesn't have an idea, doesn't have a clue of what he wants to do with money, but he has the money. Somebody could access the CBN funding without any experience, without any idea. Hope is not lost. There's so much you can do. You have to settle down. You have to understand that there are basic rudiments that we have to engage in. Number one, we have to know that entrepreneurship is a dirty activity. Our youth of today want ready-made money. Our youth of today, are posh. Our youth of today are luxurious. Our youth of today do not want to suffer. Our youth of today don't know that entrepreneurship has to do with doing the dirty job of running your business. So if you have an office, you have to be ready to clean your office, to wash your toilet, to sweep your office, to do your laundry. You have to be ready to wake up very early in the morning and sleep late night. First of all, you have to understand that entrepreneurship is not luxury. Entrepreneurship is hard work. That is one. Number two, you have to understand what business are you venturing into. It's very interesting to say, I want to go into education, I want to go into agriculture, I want to go into telecommunication. What do you know about agriculture? What do you know about education? What do you know about telecommunication? So if you don't understand the terrain, how can you engage in that business? Now, the simplest and surest way of understanding the terrain is not to understand it theoretically, it's to understand it practically. Attach yourself to somebody successful in that area. Do not, I repeat, do not go into poultry because you read books of poultry, because consultants have taught you about poultry. When you have your funding, I advise you spend 6 months in somebody's farm. 2 categories of people you should look for. Look for people who have struggled to establish their farms and people who have succeeded decades on their farms. You attach yourself for 3 months each. So if Dr. Tijani Shinkafi has run successfully a 10-year poultry farm, go to his farm. Don't tell him you want to sit with him in the office. Go and do the dirty work. Understand that the poop or whatever, the defecation of those chicken can be sold for 1,200 naira a bag. Know how to pack these things. Know what it means for these eggs to be saved. Know how to depick chickens. Stay on the farm morning till night and learn the practice of poultry farming, not just the theory, from a practitioner. When you meet a successful businessman or entrepreneur in any industry, when you talk about trying to succeed, you would laugh. Because he understands that you don't understand the challenges. You don't understand that you could collect money from CBN, set up a poultry,
with 2 million naira, look at your birds on Monday, come in on Tuesday because of a very silly mistake, and all your birds are dead. What do? You come back in the morning and you realize that, you know, all your workers have taken all your eggs. You don't know the tricks of protecting your eggs from your workers. You don't know how to manage personnel. You don't know that people are the most difficult resource of entrepreneurship to manage. It's not just about, I want to create jobs. How do you create jobs? I met somebody who is a successful oil and gas dealer. He has built this business for the past 9 years successfully. But when I sat down with him to discuss our common challenges, we all realized that the most expensive resource in entrepreneurship is trust. It is not easy, and entrepreneurship is about making money. So somebody has to handle your cash for you. And your cash is not just money that people pay. You could sit as a cashier in a poultry, but are you going to pick the eggs as well? Are you going to depict the chicken? Are you going to take out their poo? Are you going to arrange the farm? People must do that, and that is cash. How do you make people work the way you want them and they're expected to work? How do you understand the psychology of human beings? Doing business in Nigeria, entrepreneurship in Nigeria, is a difficult process. Whichever sector you are in terms of managing personnel, it's a scary thing. So it's very interesting when we talk about the theory. But when you come into the world of practice, you have to understand that, first of all, like I said earlier on, you have to have practical knowledge of that business. Secondly, like Dr. Suleiman Tukur said, build your team. I will talk about building your team from the perspective of the practical challenges in your team. Your team see you as a capitalist. You see your team as workers. You are paying them for you are buying their labor, and they see you as exploit. Look, you are making profit because they are working for you now. So they have this idea that we are working for Oga. Oga is using us. And when that idea becomes extreme, they have this sense of entitlement to cheat you. Workers cheat their Ogas. They cheat not because they are criminal minded, but because they feel they are exploited. So how much do you know that not just money you pay them, how much do you know that sitting together, to eat together from the same plate, to drink together, visiting them when they are sick, asking them about their kids, understanding that you visit them at home, you have to create a non-official, personal, cultural relationship with your workers for them to buy in naturally into what you are doing. If your workers don't love you and your business, you are going to crash. Thirdly, you have to understand competition. You have to understand that the second man in business like you thinks that when you fail, he succeeds. This is the basic Nigerian entrepreneurial mentality, I must tell you, which is very difficult to change. The next person to you in that same line of business has an understanding that when you fail, he succeeds. Little does he know that when you all succeed, you create a vibrant industry. And it's all about teamwork, even through competition. But most Nigerian entrepreneurs don't, do this. So the next person is trying to push you down for him to come up. So there are a lot of implications to that. You have to be a step ahead. You have to be, an entrepreneur has to think while he's sleeping. You have to wake up every day with new ideas about your business. So if you're into poultry, how can your poultry business be different? How can you supply eggs using an application, just like we are using Zoom? How can you talk to your clients online? How can you have a website for your poultry? How can you make sure that your eggs are branded? The first speaker talked about branding. You see, branding is one of the most integral parts of business. Branding is an asset in entrepreneurship. And for you to have a good brand, you must have integrity. I'm not talking about integrity of Somebody gives you 100 naira, you keep that money for him. Integrity, quality of your product. Integrity of keeping the smile on the face of your customer. Integrity of making sure that whatever service you are rendering it to make sure your customer sees real value. Whatever you are selling a product that you can beat your chest to say, anywhere your product is taken, there is no match. So in trying to keep the smile on the face of your customer, on the face of patronage, you have to make sure that that product or service integrity is a priority. And you have two products here. As simple as a pen. When you go to the market to buy a pen, you will see integrity in the production of that pen. Because there are some pens, when you begin to use them to write, you see that they stagger. They don't flow out because the integrity in production is not qualitative. Because that producer does not take time to produce that pen. So the integrity is lacking in production. So you have to make sure that your business, I always sell the idea of organic growth of business. Okay, I think I was mistakenly muted, and I think my time is almost up, so I'll try to round up. I'm talking about integrity in product. So whatever it is that you do, always make sure that in your absence, your product should speak for you, even if it's a pen. So make sure you do the right thing. And finally, I would like to summarize. The first thing I talked about is for us to understand the practical need to know our terrain, whatever kind of entrepreneurship you are going into. Make sure you have an idea of what you want to do. It's not really about funding, but the idea. A lot of people have funds, but they don't have the idea. And thirdly, let's understand the integrity. And I always talk about, the smile. Always make sure that people, smile. And when you emphasize on the smile, it means your customer is happy because your product is good. Your personnel are happy because you treat them well. Society is happy because you are creating an impact. And there are so many things. But I must call our attention to this fact. When you want to start a business, you have to sacrifice so much. You have to always understand that it could be rough, it could be tough. You have to persevere. You have to know that it's not just, a sprint, like I said, it's a marathon. It's something that is, long arching. It's something that is very far-reaching. So you may face some squabbles. You may face a lot of.
Hello, Dr. Shadi. Can you summarize in just 1 minute, please, so that we'll have time for questions?
Summary, like what Madam Suleiman Tuko said, entrepreneurship is no way an ordinary activity. It's unique. It has to do with the thought process. It has to do with hard work. It has to do with, fulfillment and producing products that would benefit people, every day, all the time. And whenever you want to start a business, make sure that you know what you are doing, you have the idea, and you have the ability to be steadfast whenever you face challenges. Thank you very much.
That has been Dr. Shadi Sabe, the founder/CEO of, I'm used to saying Bright, so Brilliant Footstep Academy Sokoto. Thank you very much. I would like to give a glad tidings to the participants that subsequently, inshallah, you can be accessing the lecture via Facebook and other social media handles. As Dr. Shadi was busy making his presentation, side by side, I was also trying to learn how to link up the presentation with my Facebook account. As we're here now, it is already live. I can see some people have joined, and inshallah, subsequently, those who do not have or who are unable to install or use Zoom can access the presentation live via my Facebook account. And quickly, I will invite those who will be willing to make contributions to raise up their hands. There is a button, just trace your name and raise up your hand, then I will call you one after the other. We'll use, inshallah, 20 minutes to answer questions and to also allow people to make comments and contributions. Raise up your hands in case you want to talk, please. And before then, you can understand how rich our today's presenters are. They have extensively discussed how to start up a business by giving clarifications about the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman, which is well understood. So with this, I now implore the youth to use the opportunity to engage themselves into various ways by which they can make their lives better, either through becoming an entrepreneur or a businessman. Please, can you quickly raise up your hand if you are willing to talk? I will allow you to unmute yourself, but we want to coordinate those who will talk. We cannot just be talking haphazardly. Raise up your hand. Yes, I have seen Osama. So Osama, I have asked you to unmute yourself. You can please ask your question or make comments. Osama, is he there? Osama. If he is no longer there, anybody who is willing to talk? Raise up your hand, please. Raise up your hands if you want to talk.
There is one Ayuba Muhammad. There is one Ayuba Muhammad.
Let him raise up his hand. Who is Agim Muhammad? Agim Muhammad, you can please.
Hello, I'm Agim Muhammad. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Agim Muhammad, please make your comments.
Sorry.
Wa alaikum salam. Please go ahead.
Yes. Okay. I was not around when I've not in when the
your voice is not audible.
But I would like to say something about the intention of entering business.
Your voice is not
okay.
It's not audible, Ayuba.
I would like to make a certain comment in regards to the reason why people are.
So his voice is
Can
not
you hear me
clear.
now?
Your voice is not clear, please. Let somebody talk.
Hello, doctor. Can
Yes,
you hear me,
Osama.
doctor? It's Osama.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for organizing this. It has been really helpful, actually. I was listening, though I came late. I listened to the, I think, first speaker before Dr. Shadi. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Sorry, my question is, please, what are the basic requirements if someone maybe wants to get the grant, the loan?
Yes. Thank you very much, Osama, for your question. I think that will be covered next week, inshallah. Although okay. I would like to shed some few lights. Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you, doctor.
Yes, there are only two requirements for you to access the CBN intervention, but it will be covered next week. Inshallah, we'll have another lecture on how to access the CBN funds that will be delivered by one of our friends, a staff of CBN, inshallah. But there are only two requirements. One is to get a certificate from an EDI. EDI is Entrepreneurship Training Institution. You can find it in the state you are living. So they will train you. The maximum duration is 5 days. As soon as you are trained, they will issue you with a certificate. And the certificate will now enable you to present it to the CBN that you have the necessary skills that was explained by the two speakers, because before you embark on anything, you need to have knowledge. You understand? So yes. Certificate will tell them that really you have been trained and you have been provided with the necessary skills to engage or to embark into a business. And after that, then you have to develop what we call a business plan. The business plan will describe the nature of business you are planning to do. It will also cover all sort of expenditure, the requirements of whatever you need. You have to also give the budget. You have to provide the account numbers. You have to provide the account numbers of the vendors, various vendors that will provide you with the necessary requirements, and the CBN will revise the application, call you for interview. There is a bank that is called Universal Bank in every state. So they will call you for an interview. You will have to justify and prove to them that really you have the necessary skills to embark into that business. And once they are convinced, they will now, approve your loan and the money will be disbursed. So these are the requirements, but it will be covered inshallah next week. We want more technical questions that will be channeled towards the two speakers related to what has been discussed today. Anybody please, next person. Yes, I have seen Hafizu Hamidu. Hafizu Hamidu, please go ahead.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Please, actually, I had all the presentation and it was very vital. So please, I have a question to ask. That is it advisable for someone that is going to run a business to get a loan, even if you have the required funds? Because I was told by someone that even if you have the required money for you to take up the business, it's preferable for you to collect loan from either a bank or other financial institution, and because that will help for you while managing the business. You'll be aware that the money is not only belong to you. So please, I will
request Alhaji Suleiman to kindly please respond to this question.
Okay, thank you.
Suleiman, please unmute yourself.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. Can you rephrase the question to me, Doctor? Doctor.
Hafizu, he was asking whether if you could advise him whether if he at the time he intends to embark into a business, whether must he go for loan or not?
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to go for loan. You can start up your business with small capital, because anything you start as a beginner, we have what is called learning cost. Anything that you want to go into, you have to learn it before. Even if you have the idea, you have the knowledge, but to put it into practice, you need to start it small. When you start small, then you can grow from there. If there is need to expand the business where you require so much capital or huge capital to continue with the business, then you can go for the loan. But at a starter, even 10,000 naira is enough for you to start a business. For instance, I see so many young people going around to the people who are selling granite oil and palm oil. They buy that jerrycan from there at the rate of 450,000 naira, 400, and they take it to the market and sell at the rate of 500,000, at the rate of 500 naira. You see, in every one jerrycan, they are making 100 naira. Take at least, they were able to gather like 30 jerrycan at the rate of 400 naira. Take 100 naira times 30 a day is 3,000 naira. I think 3,000 naira is not for somebody to cater for his daily need. He can even save from that 3,000 naira. So you don't need to have a capital, large capital before you can start a business. Just try to find what you want to start now, no matter how small it is.
Two more people.
Okay.
I said we have two more people.
I think this explanation is okay.
Yeah, it's satisfactory. Can I request Baba Gana to please go ahead with his question? Baba Gana Bukar.
Oh, yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I'm sure you must be talking to us from Maiduguri.
Yeah, well, presently in Bauchi.
Oh, then it's still the same Northeast. Thank you for joining us from far away. Go ahead, please. Baba Gana might have lost his connection.
Thank you very much. I really got a timely situation. Sorry?
Continue, please.
Okay. I commend the organizers and the speakers, including the Dr. Suleiman and yourself, for timely response to the prevailing situation we found ourselves economically. Honestly, if a program like this is sustained, one, I can see from the participants almost, I think we are all Northerners, it will change the mindset of the Northern youth. At least we all know unemployment, blah, 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 like that. So it's good. Please, I want the organizers of this forum to sustain such a program so that it will change the mindset of our teaming youths. Thank you very much.
And this is excellent. Thank you very much for the motivational talk. What
You're
he has
welcome.
just spoken about is the need, because we've been left behind. The earlier lecture we had last week that was also delivered related to entrepreneurship. The first speaker or second speaker, per se, the first speaker, challenged the Northern youth to copy from the Southerners, who are actually far ahead in terms of entrepreneurship. So let us see more change this time around. So can I request Suleiman Ahmad Tudu to go ahead, please, with his questions. Suleiman.
Assalamu alaikum.
Before you talk, I would like to inform the audience that Suleiman Ahmad Tudu happens to be my publicity director in another forum which I initiated for the development of Zamfara North. He is an erudite NCE holder with distinction. I am very much proud of him. Please, can you go ahead with your question?
Thank you very much, Doctor. I really appreciate your efforts for organizing this lecture for the benefit of my fellow youth, and as well as the speakers who has eloquently explained to us what are the requirements to start up a business in Nigeria. I am really satisfied with all what they have said. My question here is that Suleiman Tukur has said an individual can register as a business with a corporate affairs commission. So please, can we know the requirements? Can we know the requirement how an individual can register? What are the requirements? Can you hear me?
Shall I channel your question to Suleiman Tukur?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will request Suleiman Tukur, please, to come forward to answer the question.
Okay, Mr. Suleiman Tudu, you know before,
yes, sir. Yeah,
we have what you call Company and Allied Matter Act. That Company and Allied Matter Act does not make provision for an individual to incorporate a company.
Okay.
When you are a sole proprietorship or one-man business, what you need to do is just to go and register with your local government. When you register with local government, you can go to Ministry of Commerce and Industry and register your name. The benefit of this registration is that when there is any government intervention, first of all, they will look for those who have been registered and acknowledged by the government before they now go to the other people who has not registered. And one of the requirements they will tell you that you have to be registered a business owner. But now with the amended Company and Allied Matter Act, I don't know the requirement, but I know the law have been amended last 2 weeks ago and yet to be
amended. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm aware that one of the amendment is that a one-man can register and incorporate a company with the new act in place. So you can go to the CAC website and see what is the requirement for registration.
I would like to give a privileged information.
Okay.
Yes, I am actually a trained entrepreneur. So during the training, I was made to understand that you don't need CAC registration for you to access CBN intervention. All you need is just the certificate, because they have waived off all those necessary requirements that may hinder number of people to apply for the intervention. They are now more or less encouraging more youth like you, Ahmed Tudu, to quickly come on board to apply for the loan. So they have waived off all those. Even the collateral is no more there. Earlier there was collateral. You will have to tender one of your assets should in case you fail to repay the loan. So now all those things are not necessary. All you need is the training certificate and a business plan and those EDI will assist you in submitting the application online. So I request you and anybody listening to this presentation to go ahead and find out in his own locality or state where he lives, where is an EDI located. Let him go forward, get himself trained, get the business plan ready, and submit the application online. And I can assure you, within the shortest time possible, you will get the payment and you begin a new life. Next question, please, will be asked by Ayuba. Earlier, we were not hearing you. I will give you a second chance.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ayuba. Ayuba. Sorry? Where is Ayuba?
Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me now?
I think there's a problem with your speaker. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's not audible. Go ahead, please.
Hear me now, sir.
Go ahead, please.
It's not audible. Okay. What I want to ask is, somebody sent me a link regarding CBN registration, and he told me that one cannot access the government intervention loan unless one has registered with the CBN registration. But if you register with them, they're going to issue you a number and a certificate. So you're going to use that number in registering, in accessing the loan. So I want to confirm right now that is it true? Is it so credible? As you explained before, I've already understood.
I'm sorry, Ayuba, I will advise that. Hello, Ayuba, can you hear me, Ayuba?
But I want to
listen, please, hold on, yes. Ayuba. Hold on. Can you kindly please type your question?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hold on, listen to me, please.
Okay.
I request you please to type your question. You will be the last person that I will attend to.
Okay, sir.
After Abdulaziz Korea. So I request you please to type your question using the chat button there.
Okay.
Just send the question,
okay.
Type it and send it to me. I cannot hear you, and I believe anybody that is there cannot hear you too. So with this, I request the last person to talk, Abdulaziz Korea, to please come forward to ask his question. I would like to introduce Abdulaziz Korea. He was our undergraduate student, a Hafizul Quran. Abdulaziz Korea is currently in India, pursuing his MSc program. So Abdulaziz, please kindly come forward to ask your question.
Sir, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I also would like to commend their effort for doing this great job for the benefit of we the youth and also the speakers who share their expertise advice just for the benefit of our improvement and development. Now, what I want the speakers to shed more light is the issue of consistency in business, because what most of we, the youth, fan of doing is that once they start some business, then after some months, they will jump into another business. After some months, they will jump into another business. At least, how bad is it or how good is it to keep on jumping from one business to another without staying in one business and maybe ensure that you have perfect that business? Thank you so much, sir.
I will request Dr. Shadi Sabe to kindly please respond to this question and make his last comment so that we can quickly go off. Dr. Shadi. Is Dr. Shadi around? If Dr. Shadi is not there, Alhaji Suleiman, please kindly respond to his question.
Okay, I think the reason why people jump from one business to another business is lack of patience. Because if you have to start a business, that is what we call a learning course. You have to grow that business, you have to manage it well. It takes time for somebody to start making profit, more especially if you are into services or production of goods, when you are in manufacturing something. But if you are in buying and selling of items, maybe it's your passion. You see that maybe you are selling provisions and you are not making much in that provision, and you see another business that is giving huge as much as is giving much profit, then you can jump to another one. There is no problem in doing that. But some people, they lack patience, because business, you have to grow it and manage it. We have what, as I said, we have what is called learning cost. It has to cost you at the beginning. Maybe you are losing. It will reach an extent that you reach to break even, where there is no loss, there is no profit. When you reach that peak, by that time you will start making, if you manage to, you will start making profit. I think this is one of the reasons that people jump from one business to another, because this business is not giving much money they need. They want to go to another. At the end of the day, by so doing, because they jump without the knowledge and expertise of that business, they may likely fail. But having been there, will stay and learn from there. While they are doing their own, they are learning another business. They can combine the two at the same time if they like. But they have to manage their own post before they jump to another one. If they wanted to jump to another one, at least they should have get the expertise, the requirement, and the knowledge about that. Otherwise, that business will fail. Thank you very much for the question. Unmute yourself, Doctor. Unmute yourself, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Suleiman. From the live session here, I have 2 questions.
Doctor, we cannot hear you.
Yes, I was trying to, somebody has been calling me online, so I was trying to, he has asked a question. I hope he is patient to listen to me. I will answer his question. I have seen this question. Is Nura M. Tukur, is actually my undergraduate friend and colleague. So he has asked a question that applied for loan in the previous month. I guess he's referring to COVID-19 loan. COVID-19 loan is also an intervention by the federal government to cushion the effect of COVID-19. Actually, that one is different from this one. In that one, you don't need training, you don't need anything. It's just intended to assist the small and medium entrepreneurs to, recover, from the effects. They were meant to, they were made by the made to enter by the COVID-19. So as such, that one is a lack related to luck or chance. A lot of people have applied and a lot have gotten, a lot have not, were not able to get it. But this one is a situation whereby you are trained, you have the certificate, you also have a business proposal. In COVID-19, there is nothing like proposal. You don't need a business plan to apply for that one. So you just apply and they will give you, some will be giving 500,000, some 1 million, some 100,000. It's irregular. So I don't know much about that one, but we are referring to CBN intervention. There is such as AGMES. There's AGMES related to agri, related to so many type of business. We shall get to know how to access the funds next week, inshallah, the same time, the same day, on Thursday by 11 a.m., inshallah. So this is this lecture. I, myself, Dr. Jani Salim Lenkapi, talking to you from the Department of Biochemistry, Osman Danfodio University.
Doctor, sorry for intervention.
Yes.
Doctor, sorry for interrupting you. I think what Ayuba Hamid is asking, there is one link sent to him by somebody to register with CMEDAN. CMEDAN means Small Medium Enterprises Development Authority of Nigeria. Yes. It is different from federal government intervention now. They provide a loan or soft loan to the business owners who register with their authority. So it is important to register with their authority. They have their separate type of loan. This one that doctor is talking about is for the CBN intervention, but the other one is for similar Small and Medium Enterprise Development Authority. They are saddled with the responsibility of giving loan and identifying small and medium businesses in Nigeria. So there is no harm for registering with the organization, because even if they are given the loan, if you have not registered with them, there is no how you can access the loan.
Yes, I have seen a message from Muawiyah. He said he wants to shed some light. Can I request Muawiyah to please use just 1 to 2 minutes to make some clarifications? I have seen his message. Muawiyah Jega. Unmute yourself, please. Muawe Jega. I just read a question where he said that he wants to give a clarification. So if he's not there, we have taken a lot of time.
Myself, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam warahmatullah, Muawiya.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me, please?
Go ahead, go ahead. You cannot hear me.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Shinkafi. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Shinkafi, for this wonderful session. It's actually very impactful. I just want to add to what I think Baba Gana said. My own observation or advice here is that I think it is going to be very, very helpful to the Northern youth if we are going to organize a kind of session where brains and ideas on businesses will be put together to come up with something tangible, like the way it is happening in the southern part and the western part of the country. There are a lot of youth that have business ideas, but they don't have that avenue or support where they can present their ideas so that people can come together and add one or two things to it to make it a reality. So I think if something like this can be added to this session or to this program is going to be very useful to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Muawiya, for giving us this suggestion. I can guarantee you, inshallah, immediately after the next week's lecture, we will organize a kind of session whereby we'll invite a number of entrepreneurs from especially the northern region to boost people to engage in entrepreneurship, inshallah. It is well noted. And without wasting much time, like I told you, my name is Dr. Tijani Salu Shinkapi from the Department of Biochemistry, Osman Danfodio University, Sokoto. I'm actually the founder and CEO of Mentorship and Career Guidance in Nigeria. So we encourage you to be regularly joining our sessions so that we will have contributions, comments, and questions that will enrich the presentations. On behalf of Mentorship and Career Guidance, I would like to sincerely appreciate the efforts of the two speakers, Alhaji Suleiman Tukur from Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, and Dr. Shadi Sabe, a former SUG president, a former lecturer at the Department of Economics, and a founder/CEO of Brilliant Footstep Academy, Sokoto. We sincerely thank you for the valuable contributions you have given to the lecture series of Mentorship and Career Guidance. And also we appreciate the participants who spent their time to join the presentation session so that they will learn from the skilled personnel that made themselves available for the session. So with this, I would like to say that we've come to the end of the session and look forward to having you, inshallah, next week on Thursday by 11 a.m. for knowing how to now access the funds from a CBN. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.